learned from the lesson. Live in the hills, but it still get a spread. Started with a live, but it still reinvest it. Fear how I feel, then you feel it's a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but the sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a wonderful long weekend. It was boring without you, man. Mondays, come on now. But we got another exciting week, and it is already looking good. Futures are up. You got a bunch of updates. We have a bunch of things this week. But where we go from here, I mean, it's going to be key. But we already have a lot to deal with, and I don't know, maybe, just maybe, we might get some bullishness. I mean, it's looking good. So we got a lot to talk about. I'm going to go over the breakdown for this week, the key events. You're going to be hearing from Powell twice, and you even got more from the Fed with the bank stress test. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to have a couple plays with it, and then we're going to have a little bit of data and see where this short weeks takes us, especially after hitting lows last week. So drop your thumbs up on that video. Make sure you're subscribed, and if you don't know, first link, baby. And before I forgot last week we woke up to that volatility, but this is the random account generator. We need your help on this watch list. We need you to post a random option trade, keep it below $100, strike price expiration, preferably with time. Tomorrow morning we're going to do a random comment picker and see what's up. But man, even the random comment picker has been getting clapped, bro. This is wild. This is wild. So thank you and God bless you, and get ready for another week. But as far as what you have this week, there's going to be a bunch of stuff, but maybe we should talk about what happened over the weekend. So Bitcoin got totally clapped and then it bounced, and people are saying that a lot of the liquidations could be a lot of seller exhaustion, and now people are bringing that argument in the stocks. We're going to see that today. Again, you heard from James Bullard. He said he is worried about, quote, unmoored without credible Fed action in reference to inflation expectations. And then we also got to hear from China. They decided to not raise their interest rates, and that's actually good because it stops them from further diverging with the rest of the world. And then the dollar went down, and so did oil a little bit, as everything in Europe did good. And again, the dollar weakening, people like that. So that's kind of where we started into the weekend, and now with futures up, people are feeling a little optimistic. So we're going to see this last. But now coming into this week, here's your first key. You got Powell before Congress. So one day, starting tomorrow, and then Wednesday, Senate, and then the House. They're going to ask him a bunch of questions. They're going to grill him, obviously, with that recent 3/4 of a point move. They're definitely going to ask him about that. But what I would be watching out for is any sort of pivot. So we saw this at the beginning of the year. If you don't remember, it was the beginning of the year when Powell started talking about balance sheet reduction. That's when everybody freaked out, but it wasn't at a Fed meeting. It was at one of these congressional things. So actually, it happens pretty much every 6 months, twice a year. So keep your eyes out for what happens here. I will watch for a pivot, again, considering how much the market has dropped. And if we do have any sort of bullishness this week, I think that could be very good. Otherwise, if Powell gets increasingly more hawkish there, then that will definitely move the market. But especially after last week, Powell is definitely going to be the focus this week. So watch out for that. Then the second thing, the bank stress test. So the Fed stress test, they do this one as also semi-annually. They review the banks. They go over certain scenarios, like last year, I believe it was like a commercial real estate collapse. Again, they've even changed the metrics from last year to this year. They do adjust it periodically, but this is going to have a big effect. There will be winners and losers. We're going to talk about that when we get into the plays, but that's going to be a big set of data this week. And then other than that, you will be getting flash PMIs, and then I believe University of Michigan consumer sentiment, and that was important last week, so watch out for that, as well as now real estate data. But we brought this up last week. Any sort of data for the economy, it will be important. Again, everybody's still on edge. We just hit lows last week, so we will see what happens, but that's going to be your data. And then finally, for the rest of the week, until we see kind of how things play out, I would just watch out for the dollar and oil. Those are going to be the main keys. Again, there was even talks about getting rid of the gas ban. Biden was talking about what he will do with oil companies. He even met with Larry Summers as well, and they said that they could avoid a recession. So we'll see what happens. But oil and them coming down, again, if you don't remember what happened last week, oil actually started to drop big. That could have been that first peak we were talking about, but literally people are talking about demand destruction in oil. They're talking about legislation, gas tax ban, excessive profit ban. Again, even the legislation to even sue gas stations, but all of that's happening. Oil coming down in commodities, very, very important. And again, the dollar and how that's been playing out with everything else, definitely keep your eye out for that. But that's going to be the main stuff. I think Powell's going to be the key. Should be very straightforward. Again, we were at very, very low lows last week. So the real question is, do we continue with the fear or do we get a little bit of a relief rally? So I hope you're ready, but let us get into the plays. So I got 3 different plays. Let's start it off very simply. The banks, again, the stress test, those are coming out on Thursday, but like I said, there's usually a winner and loser. So we've seen Morgan Stanley and I believe JP Morgan, they've done good, or it was Goldman Sachs. I'll have to double check, so be on stream, but there's a couple banks, they do very good. Some have done very, very bad in the past. Again, I would even watch out for Wells Fargo. Again, they're one that they could either do very good or very bad. Again, even keep an eye on Citibank. I don't know how Credit Suisse will factor in because they're foreign, but point is, there will be winners and losers here. That's going to come out on Thursday, and I'm pretty sure leading up into it, we might even see a run up. So I think even tomorrow, we may be able to start eyeing these plays, but pretty much going to spread a couple around both sides and then pick a couple of banks that I think will do better or worse. Again, I'm thinking Goldman and JP, as well as Morgan Stanley. Those 3 could do good. And then Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and Citi, those might do bad. But we're going to do some research on this on stream, and then we'll see what we get into. But that's going to be the first play. The second set of plays, it's going to be BITO. So we still got those free contracts. Remember, we played them last week. That one was excellent. We got about 500%. But this was a crazy weekend for Bitcoin. I know it's a little bit higher, so I want to see how this gets reflected. But I think it'll be a volatile week, if not a couple months for Bitcoin. Again, some people are saying the sellers have been exhausted. I think if we give this a couple of weeks ago and back and forth, we're really going to see what happens again towards the end of summer, and then we'll see what's really good with that. But I'm definitely going to be watching BITO. We got those plays, and we'll just see how the volatility is this week. And then finally, ORCL. I made a weekly play on this one on Friday. They had a little bit of that TikTok news that they're going to be handling all of the TikTok data. It was like good, but not really. But remember, they had a really good earnings a couple days ago, so pretty much want to watch out for that if we get any sort of broader rally and some of these, high growth names or tech and software companies get a little bit of a bounce. I think they could be good. They kind of have some news, so we will see what happens. But those are going to be the main plays. Besides that, there's a couple pieces of news. I think like Mondelez bought Cliff Bar. Intel is seeking like $600 million from the EU government following a court victory. Emirates are trying to buy some planes from Airbus, and then Tesla might have to raise wages. But I thought there was one more piece, but we'll see. Otherwise, again, bank stocks are going to be really, really fire this week. We may get a broader rally. People are excited, but we'll see where we go from here. And don't forget about the dollar, yen, and bond. And I hope you're ready for an exciting week. But that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure Andre Healthy ready to go. Make sure post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shine. I need you to remember, good is always better than bad. Yeah, it's a simple, I'm going to get into it. I got a feel. We going to talk more out. I love you. Stay hydrated. Get ready. It's going to be a new week. It's going to be a short one, but get ready for more Powell, baby. And I hope you're ready for the end of summer or the beginning. It's kind of happening. I don't know. I'm ready. I miss you. Mondays are boring without the cold. Let's get it. I'll see you in a little bit. And don't make me do that. Okay, I was about to do it. Okay, I love you. Good night. Bye. Bye. I love you, Jen.